Alright guys, in this video I'm going to be doing an in-depth review of the brand new 2021 Attitude Era Tag Team Replica Belt re-release. This is a standard adult sized replica belt, simulated leather, metal plates. Quite appropriately, I've got two of these Attitude Era tag belts with me at the moment. This one, like I say, standard simulated leather. This one on my left has been fully upgraded by myself. Same plates, but the simulated leather has been replaced with a brand new real leather strap made to match the belt used on TV. So towards the end of the video we'll do a quick comparison, but for the bulk of this video I'm just going to be reviewing the standard belt you can buy from WWE Shop. So first up, we should just take a quick overview of the belt bag. So it's a pretty standard kind of that velvet feeling belt bag. Unlike a lot of the recent releases, it doesn't have the center plate of the belt design on here. It simply has the scratched WWE Attitude logo, and it reads at the bottom, World Tag Team Championship Replica. So pretty decent belt bag. It is what it is. Right, belt out on the table here, and as you can see, they've replicated this belt as a full 6-plate belt, so it does include that property of WWE 6th plate on the far right hand side there. But overall, this is a really nicely replicated belt. This is of course an iconic belt design, not to be confused with the classic version of this World Tag Team Championship replica. That's kind of the Hart Foundation version, etc. This version was the Attitude Era one. I'll do a comparison between the two at some point, but there is some significant differences. But I do understand that the plates themselves have a similar shape and design overall. So it is natural that there is some confusion, but just to be clear, this is the Attitude Era version, held by a lot of teams. I mean, the New Age Outlaws, of course, a few other teams, but mostly probably made famous by the triangle ladder matches, the TLC matches, Dudley's, Edge, Christian, and the Hardys. That was my growing up with these belts anyway. That was the teams that I see most synonymous with this. So we'll go into the design. I have to say this is of course a 2021 remake, so the plate quality, you've got the 5mm casted plates. They're a decent enough curve for what is a relatively small center plate. As mentioned, the side plates are pretty tiny, but for what it is, it's actually a really nice replica. I have to be honest. This is one of those kind of classic designs where there is a lot of empty space in the belt, but I know modern belts, space is usually filled up with a lot of filler kind of textures or little patterns or designs. It is cool to see kind of the old belts that just happily will have big blank areas without any detail in them, because to be honest it works. But a lot of designs nowadays, and even including my own designs, I feel paranoid when there's a space of just empty plate. I always feel like it's space, we should put a design in there, we should put a little bit of a pattern. These belts, along with a lot of the classic belts, for example, the classic IC, they happily use that empty space to kind of allow the designs to breathe, to allow elements like the wrestlers on these side plates, for example, to pop out. And yeah, it works. These are certainly not designs you would see used nowadays, really, as far as being a new design anyway. So looking at the simulated leather strap, as I've mentioned in the unboxing video for this belt, I love that they've replicated the design of the strap on this. So this does not have any tooling on the inside of the snap box. That is kind of the lazy leather style of Jmar, the original maker of these. So I like that they've followed that. As we move around the strap, you'll see the WWE logos tooled into this. I could be wrong, but I don't think every version of this belt had the WWF logo tooling. I think several versions did, but some versions of the strap just had the classic camouflage kind of seashell looking design. So either would have been fine. I like that they did the WWE logos. No complaints here. The leather cut around the plates is actually really good. It's a decent cut. There's a few belts, for example, I did complain about the classic WWE tag belt. The leather cut going around the plates on that belt for some reason has been made massive, and I don't particularly like that, but this one I have absolutely zero complaints. It looks really well made. Of course I did mention that 6th plate logo plate there, and of course the 2x5 snap box on the right hand side. I've still got the kind of plastic protecting the top of the snaps there. Really decent strap. So I also just want to make clear how good the details are on this belt. You can see the depth of the wrestlers, you can see the depth of the border, kind of floral is really popping out from the plate quite nicely. So yeah, between the base of the plate and where the wrestler detail is, you can really see that kind of jump in the etching. And it comes out really, really looking good. So the eagle details looks really quite well done. You can see all the individual lines on the feathers here as you go. Okay, a quick thing I just want to mention, because I've seen people talking about these things. It's mostly, it's not damage on this belt. It's not an error. It's kind of just production flaws, like manufacturing flaws, things that can happen when you're mass producing things. But it is something that I've noticed becoming more apparent with 2021 replica belts. So, for example, I've seen people mentioning it on the Winged Eagles and the classic tags, and I've noticed a little bit of it on this, so I just want to point out to make you aware. So I want you to kind of look in this area here, the etched area, and I think it's kind of showing up, as you can see there. One moment, I'll just give it a good wipe so there's no fingerprints in that, but down here you can see all these kind of lines. As I change the angles there, you can hopefully see the lines showing up. There's a few more in this middle part, so if you pay attention to there. Now, just to be clear, these aren't scratches, they're not big marks or carves into the plate or anything. It's simply flaws in the production process. These plates are made by pouring metal into a mold that is made based off of the artwork that they use. So that mold will have a little bit of imperfections in it, and they're okay. Just to finish up this video, we'll compare it to the real leather strapped version. So just a quick overview. So of course, real leather on the bottom, simulated leather on the top. On the real leather one, I've used, of course, the camouflage style, the classic seashell design. And you'll notice I've done a much wider snap box. This is the TV accurate style of distancing that JMR, the original belt maker, used between snaps. For some reason, WWE insists on making the replicas with the spacing that, for example, the Winged Eagle had. It was a much smaller belt, so its snaps were positioned much closer together. All the Attitude Era belts were made to be much longer and much bigger. For example, the Big Eagle obviously is one of the biggest belts and widest belts possible. So the snaps on Attitude Era belts always had a wider bit of spacing. So that's what I've replicated. And of course, I mentioned that lazy style of tooling. So this area here, it doesn't have kind of the floral pattern you would sometimes see. Instead, it's completely stamped down, and you can see, hopefully as the light catches different angles, that texture showing up quite nicely. I love doing this style of leather. It's so simplistic, but I think that the way it looks on these classic, especially the Attitude Era belts, I really like it. Okay, one last thing. We'll quickly just flip both of these over so you can see the rear of both belts. Right, so the replica, of course, here has its official authentic patch on the back here. It does read 2021 replica on the back there. All the screws are, of course, left exposed. On the real leather version, I've covered all those up just like they would have been on TV. And you can see all the screws, how they look comparatively. Nice, of course, nice smooth leather backing in black. Certain versions of this belt did have kind of dark burgundy red leather backing, which looked nice as well, but the owner of this wanted it on the classic black style. Okay, and last but not least, we'll do a quick flexibility comparison. So this is the simulated leather strap, of course. You can see there's not much flexibility in the strap here. It's fine for what it is, but it's never going to replicate real leather too closely, so just so people are aware of that. Not bad for what it is. And then the real leather version, of course, if we hold that down, you're going to get the drop that the real leather strap always gives. Good flexibility, very close to what it was on TV, of course. Brand new leather strap, just finished yesterday, so if you wanted this to fold just like paper, you just handle it a little bit, you just kind of fold it up, and you'll be good. So I don't know, is that something people want to see? It looks good. I'm really happy with the real leather strap on this belt. I will say that the simulated leather straps coming on a lot of the 2021 replicas are quite bad. They look really nice. The details on them are really good. So for display pieces, they're really great. But as far as flexibility goes, they've been getting a lot less flexible as of late. The Winged Eagle was pretty good, but the Ruthless Aggression tags along with this one were incredibly stiff straps. So That's just something to keep an eye on. If it's for display, they're absolutely fine, realistically. But if you like your belts to be 100% accurate and you want real leather, obviously the real leather does make a significant difference to kind of the realism of the feel of the belt, similar to what it was on TV. It's a really well made replica, and I think it's a good pickup for any collection. But yeah, if this was helpful, please like the video. I would appreciate that. A lot of people have been liking the videos, so thank you. It genuinely does help. The more likes, the more the video gets shared around by YouTube automatically. So that would be helpful. Thank you very much. But yeah, if you did enjoy the video, please do subscribe to the channel and let me know what you think of these belts. Who was your favourite team to hold these? I mean, I'm not Hardys 100%. I was a kid during the Attitude Era. The Hardys were my guys. Amazing. But yeah, that's my choice. That's my opinion on these belts. Let me know what you think of them. Let me know your favourite team that held the belts. And yeah, cheers for watching.
Yo, monkeys, it's me, DDP. And if you want to get one of the greatest belts made for you, go to Paulmartinbelts. That's right, sucker.